They say legends live forever. But what if a legend was never meant to last? James Dean didn't just act. He embodied a restless spirit the world couldn't contain, and maybe that's why it ended the way it did. James Byron Dean was born. The world was harsh. The Great Depression gripped the land. His father, Winton, a dental technician. His mother, Mildred Wilson. She adored her young son, a sensitive, curious child. The early days were quiet. Mildred saw his spark. She nurtured his talents. Art, music, expression, a small violin, tap dance lessons. She built a puppet theater for him, for his stories. These were formative moments, a bond deep and true between mother and son in their small Indiana world. Then darkness fell. Mildred grew ill, cancer, swift and cruel. James was only 9. He watched her fade, a devastating loss. The center of his world gone, forever. A wound that never healed. It shaped the man he became. Winton Dean struggled, alone with his son. He felt unable to cope. He sent James away, back to Indiana, to Fairmount, a small farm town, to live with his aunt and uncle, Hortense and Marcus Winslow. A new chapter, a different life. The boy was now unmoored. Fairmount, Indiana, the Winslow farm, a Quaker household, strict, loving, different. James missed his mother. He carried her memory, a quiet, observant boy. He searched for connection, for understanding in this new rural landscape. High school offered an outlet, drama, public speaking. His teacher, Adeline Knoll, she saw his raw talent. She encouraged him, pushed him. On stage, he came alive. He could be someone else. He could express the turmoil, the feelings he held inside. A hunger began to grow. He excelled in sports, basketball, track, baseball, but acting was different. It was a calling, a way to explore the complexities of human emotion. He won state competitions, his voice clear, his presence felt. The small town watched. A restless spirit was stirring. The farm was grounding. Yet he yearned for more. The field stretched wide, but his dreams went further. Beyond Indiana's horizon, he read books, watched movies, imagined a different world, a world of bright lights, of stories told on a grand scale. The seed of ambition had taken root. California called, after high school, 1949. He moved with his father, Santa Monica College, pre-law. It was not his path. UCLA, he switched to drama, small roles, television commercials, a Pepsi commercial, his first taste. He was impatient, eager. The West Coast felt slow. He craved authenticity, a deeper understanding of the craft, of himself. He heard whispers of New York, the actor's studio, Lee Strasberg, method acting, the search for truth. It was a powerful magnet, pulling him eastward, away from Hollywood's surface, towards something more profound. New York, 1951, a struggle for survival, odd jobs, small apartments. He auditioned, he studied. The actor's studio accepted him. A prestigious, daunting place, Marlon Brando, Montgomery Clift. They were already legends there. Dean absorbed everything. He watched, he learned, he waited. The studio was a crucible. It forged his intensity, his commitment to realism. He delved into his own pain, his own experiences, to bring characters to life. It was demanding, exhausting, but it was what he sought. The truth, unvarnished, real. His moment was approaching. Broadway offered glimpses. See The Jaguar, short-lived. The Immoralist, Critical Notice. He played a troubled youth, a blackmailing Arab houseboy. His intensity was palpable, on stage, unforgettable. Hollywood began to notice the talent they had overlooked. Director Elia Kazan saw him. Kazan was casting East of Eden, John Steinbeck's epic novel. He needed a Cal Trask, a brooding, misunderstood son, searching for his father's love. Dean read for the part. Kazan saw the parallels, the actor, the character, a raw nerve, exposed, vulnerable. The role was his, filming East of Eden. It was a revelation. Dean improvised, challenged. He lived the role. His method was unconventional, sometimes difficult for others, but the camera loved him. It captured his pain, his joy, his desperate yearning. A star was being born. The film released, 1955. Audiences were stunned, critics were captivated. James Dean was a sensation. His portrayal of Cal, so raw, so deeply felt, it resonated with a generation. He was nominated for an Oscar, posthumously, a tragic first. His journey had just begun. Section 5, The Cry of a Generation, Rebel Without a Cause. Next came Rebel Without a Cause. The title itself, a statement. Nicholas Ray directed. Dean played Jim Stark, a new kid in town, confused, alienated, angry, searching for meaning, for family in a world that didn't understand. He became the voice of restless post-war youth, the red jacket, iconic, the anguished cry, "You're tearing me apart." It echoed in theatres, it echoed in young hearts. He wasn't just acting, he embodied the struggle, the desire for connection, the fear of a future that seemed uncertain, cold. He was their misunderstood hero. Natalie Wood, Sal Mineo, they formed a troubled trio, on-screen, off-screen, a bond of shared experience. The film explored themes, juvenile delinquency, parental neglect, the search for identity. It was controversial, powerful. It changed how youth was seen and how they saw themselves. Rebel cemented his status, an idol, a symbol. He wasn't just a movie star, he was a cultural phenomenon. His vulnerability, his defiance, spoke to millions. He captured a moment in time, a generation's unease and its desperate hope. His impact was immediate, profound. Section 6, Giant Among Men. The final performance, his third major film, Giant. An epic Texas saga based on Edna Ferber's novel, directed by George Stevens. Dean played Jet Rink, a poor ranch hand who strikes oil and becomes wealthy but remains an outsider. Bitter, lonely, lost, a complex, tragic figure. He starred alongside legends Rock Hudson and Elizabeth Taylor. Dean was the newcomer, the intense young actor. His methods again caused friction, but his performance was mesmerizing. He aged on screen from a young man to a broken older Jet. Giant was a massive production, filmed in Marfa, Texas. The conditions were challenging, but Dean poured himself into the role. He saw Jet's ambition, his resentment, his pain. He understood the character's journey from poverty to power and the emptiness within. It was a powerful transformation. He completed filming just days before his death. Giant was released in 1956 after he was gone. He received another Oscar nomination, again posthumously. His talent undeniable, his potential limitless. 3 films, 3 iconic roles, a legacy carved in celluloid. Section 7, Beyond the Silver Screen, Speed, Solitude and Searching. Off-screen, Dean was complex, introspective, moody. He valued his privacy, yet craved connection. He could be charming, funny, and then suddenly withdrawn. A man of contradictions, always searching, always restless. A poet, a photographer, a lover of music. He had a passion for speed, motorcycles, race cars. It was an escape, a thrill, a way to feel alive. He bought a Porsche 356 Speedster, then a Porsche 550 Spider. He named it Little Bastard, a reflection of his rebellious spirit. Racing was dangerous, he knew, but he was drawn to the edge. His relationships were intense, often turbulent. Pia Ancoli, an Italian actress, a love affair, heartbreak. Ursula Andress, another connection. He sought understanding, but intimacy was difficult. The wounds of his childhood ran deep, affected everything. He was a solitary soul, wary of fame, the Hollywood machine. He resisted conformity. He dressed casually, mumbled. He was unlike other stars. This authenticity, this rebellion, it endeared him to his fans. They saw him as one of their own, someone who understood their own feelings of alienation. Section 8, September's End. The last ride of the Little Bastard. September 30th, 1955. Clear California day. Dean was driving his Porsche Spider to a race in Salinas. With him Rolf Wutherich, his mechanic. He was excited, full of life. The car was new, powerful, fast. He had owned it for only 9 days. A premonition of doom, unheeded. Highway 466 near Cholame. Late afternoon, the sun low. A Ford Tudor sedan, driven by Donald Turnipseed, a student, approached the intersection. Turnipseed began to turn left. He didn't see the small silver Porsche, not until it was too late. A brutal, head-on collision, metal against metal, shattered. James Dean was killed instantly. Broken neck, massive injuries. He was 24 years old. Wutherick was thrown clear, badly injured. Turnipseed suffered minor injuries. The news spread like wildfire. James Dean dead. It seemed impossible, unbelievable. A rising star extinguished at the height of his ascent. The little bastard destroyed. Some said the car was cursed. Parts salvaged from the wreck were involved in further accidents, adding to the mystique, the legend. The crash site became a landmark, a place of pilgrimage for grieving fans. The rebel had found his cause in a tragic final way. Section 9. Forever Dean, an icon forged in fire and myth. His death shocked the world, an outpouring of grief, unprecedented for an actor with only 3 major films. He became more famous in death than he had been in life. His image everywhere, the moody stare, the cigarette, the red jacket, a symbol of eternal youth and tragic, unfulfilled promise. Myths began to circulate that he wasn't really dead, that he was disfigured, hiding. Fans refused to let him go. His films were re-released, played to packed houses. New generations discovered him. His appeal crossed boundaries of age, of culture. He remained relevant, powerful. Why does he endure? His talent was immense, undeniable. His performances still resonate. Raw, honest, vulnerable, he captured the angst of youth, the search for identity, feelings that are timeless, universal. He was an authentic rebel in a world craving authenticity. Even now, decades later, he remains frozen in time, forever 24, forever the brooding outsider, the sensitive soul. His brief life, a shooting star, burning brightly, then gone. But the light he cast, it continues to shine. Thank you for watching The Rebel Who Died Young, James Dean, Part 1, brought to you by Softbound. If his story stirred something in you, let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe and follow along as we uncover more echoes from the past.